Good morning. So far I have been discussing about various grooming aspects. Few more grooming aspects are still left for discussion, which I will quickly complete, and then I will straightway enter into various tips, tricks on interviews and GDs. So hold on. First, few of the grooming. Let's go through it. Attire, the dresses that you wear. See, I had been talking about appearance, how you should look like, how should you stand with postures or gestures, movements of hands and eyes. But very important thing is how you look totally. That means attire, what you are wearing. And then there will be another set which I would introduce to you is basically what you do carry with you. When you go for the interview, when you go for meetings, you don't go empty-handed. You have something in your hands. Those aspects are also equally important. And then the third thing that I will discuss is the kind of manifestations or actions that you do. I will go through this very quickly. See, you must have noticed by now, what the way I am proceeding with these lectures is, I am one by one introducing you to different aspects of it, different elements, and then the entire elements comes onto your screen totally, and I am discussing about everything. Then I am going to another set, introducing you element by element, and then the full screen. So my suggestion is that when you are running this course, listen to me very carefully and focus on each and every element. The element which I am discussing, I suggest that you don't look back to the other elements because you will have time, you will have opportunity. You listen to me very, very attentively, get your points right, and then you rerun it. Once you rerun, and you may stop at a point when you have all the points in the whole screen, read it through, listen to me again. I hope by this you definitely would be having lots of success. At least I have seen such success through others. Okay, then the attires. There is a big list of attires. So I will go through this very quickly. So pay attention to this particular screen, the way I am bringing it forward. Shirts, what you wear, the shirt, the trousers, the bottom parts of the clothes, saris or blouses, salwars or kurtas. See, I am addressing both sexes. So there will be different dresses. Shirts and trousers can be even worn by female candidates, because nowadays in the corporate houses sometimes it becomes almost mandatory that when you are in public communications, then you wear shirts and trousers. So there are different such. So I am not distinguishing between whether it's men and women. I am just putting all the things together. The belt to hold our trousers in place, shoes, socks, handkerchief, tie, winter wears, whether this or sweater, pullover, whatever, and the other accessories. Now, last thing which comes here is the makeup, the kind of some treatments that you do, especially for female candidates, women, but makeup can also be very effective for men. Now, quickly giving a list for shirts, what is to be noticed? It's to be noticed is the fabrics, the color, texture, print, sleeves, cufflinks, whether it's ironed or not ironed, whether it's casual, the buttons, the match, what kind of shirts matching with others, whether it's trendy, whether it's funky, or is there any brand reflected, or say you are wearing jeans shirt. The thing is, everything matters. The good fabric gives a good glaze of your shirt that impresses people. See, especially the good fabric or such things are of importance, but what is very important is it funky? If it is a funky kind of shirt, it gives a negative vibes to the person who are interviewing you. So, things which you try to avoid essentially is very trendy or funky, these things you try to avoid. What you try to avoid is non-ironed or not pressed shirts. It should be very well maintained. It should be very well maintained. Should not be casual. So, don't go by casual shirts. Color should be attractive yet sober. It should not be very striking. The color of the shirts should not be very eye-catching, and there should not be too much of prints on the shirts. It is because of this you will find most commonly people, when they go for interview, they prefer white shirts or whitish colored shirts. Black shirts may be looking very good on your physique, but the thing is, black shirts generally try to avoid. So, lighter color shirts is good. Lighter color amongst them also, it requires a good matching. So, shirt is after your face, the entire eyes of the selection committee members, it goes on to your top part of the attire. Okay? So, take note of this, especially try to avoid trendy and funky. Textures, in terms of textures, instead of cross, checks, stripes and all these things, it is better that if you have kind of small dots, most favorable is very plain. But if you want to go for some kind of texture, then it should be self prints, like say self textured. With the same color of the fabric, you have also the texture. Now, these things matter. Not that people are going to pay very close attention to all your attires, but altogether the moment you enter, first they look at you, at your face, and then immediately the entire gazing of everybody goes on to your entire appearance. And then if something you are wearing as a shirt which is eye-catching, contrasting, but not very much for the occasion, then a little bit of negative impacts start created. Now, at that particular point, what happens is, whatever question they are asking, they will always be thinking about, oh, what a kind of shirt he has come with. Couldn't he come with a little better dressed? It's something like that. It works. Actually, the interviewer, when they are sitting over there, they are not simply judging your academic qualifications, your knowledge, or your other acumen. They are trying to see your overall personality. So, the overall personality is reflected very much with your facial expressions as strongly, equally with your attires. Okay. Now, trousers, again similar things: fabrics, color, texture, prints, fall. The trousers should have very nice fall, and then ironed. It should not be casual. There are so many things I have written over here, essential to give an idea that these things happen. You can have a casual trouser, no problem. But the thing is, in interview, generally not preferred. Then the buttons or the zip, the matching of the trouser with the shirt, whether it's trendy, whether it's funky, is there any brand or is it jeans, Going for an interview with the jeans is generally not a very good culture. Having a casual interview with somebody and then you are wearing a jeans is fine, because jeans is considered to be a little casual dress. But you are going for an interview where they are going to select you to represent that organization. So, essentially you should be very, very formal. So, I always say that for attires, it should be a very formal attire. If you are wearing anything, the shirt, it should not be too tight. It should not be too tight. It should not be too loose either. Now, what you should do is, for going for this kind of interview, before that you have a dress rehearsal yourself. You wear different kind of attires that you do have of different colors. So, you make a choice before, okay? Then you try all, standing in front of a full length mirror, and see how you appear altogether with entire attire. And then if you feel very comfortable yourself, putting yourself in the shoes of the person who is viewing you, then only you select it. But quite often what happens is, people are very egotist about it. They say, no, what I am wearing, I am. What I am wearing is the reflection of me. They are looking for somebody of my person, through me, they are trying to see what knowledge I have. But the point is, it's not that alone. Okay? Then for saree blouse, similar color, design, type, print, length, pleats, ironed or matched. very important. See, for saris and salwar kurtas, there are lots of variety of colors, because for ladies' garments, the color is a real thing, But all right, the prints should be such, it should be sober. And print should be such, it should not be too contrasting different kind of elements. So it should be sober. That soberness really I cannot define, but that soberness is, you may take opinion of others. You can wear 2-3 options first at your home before you go for the interview. Then you ask your friends, ask your mother, ask your brother, ask your relatives that what is their opinion, and take others' opinion, okay? Because what others are going to feel looking at you is going to be told by your friends. Then comes belt. There are so many things in the belt. The belt is required essentially to hold your trouser in place. That's all. It has no other purpose. But it has become a part of our attire, very important attire, and also part of fashion. What all are there important in this? Width of the belt. Too narrow or too wide. These two kinds of belts are generally not very good looking in formal cases. You try to keep it between 1 to 1.5 inches. 2 inches is a good size for some people, okay, but not for everybody. So 1 inch to 1.5 inch is a reasonable size that you can follow. The color should be matching with your trouser, also with your shirt. If you are wearing a black trouser, then it is better that you wear a black belt. If you are wearing a brownish trouser, then you rather wear a brownish belt. But if you are wearing a gray or some other, then black belt is a better color. Okay. Then comes the buckles. There are so many varieties of buckles, which we really make fancy of it. Buckles of different size, different shapes, different patterns, and different kind of emboss or other things. Okay. Shiny, non-shiny, and many such things are available in buckles. But the thing is, my suggestion is the buckle should be very sober. Most often, most preferred is a usual buckle of a rectilinear size or rectangular size, and it may have its pins just to hold it through the loops, through the holes, holes. That's fine. That much is good enough. But too much of overdoing on the buckles catches the attention of your belt. I will tell you a very nice story after I come to this entire attire, that how some people, they think that if they wear something very, very distinctly different, it adds to their personality. I will come to that story a little later. Okay, the texture. There are different kind of textures available. One is very plain, another is matte finish, another is very glossy, and then another is with a skin printed, like say crocodile or snake skin printed. Sometimes it is multicolored, sometimes it is made of nylon fabrics. Okay, and then comes the loop. In the loop, basically is just to hold the entire belt in position. The loop should be properly maintained, and there should be proper loops so that your extreme end of the belt is properly kept in place. And then comes the matching to all together. The color, if I am talking about, then matching all together is that point. Now, formal belts are, it may be matte finished, it may also be glossed, no problem, but it should be definitely matched with your trouser. Okay. Then comes shoes. In the shoes, what you have? Different items. Material. That means the leather, whether it's leather shoe, whether it's canvas, whether it's a sneaker. There are different kind of shoes that you may have. Which shoe will you wear when you go for the interview? Then the color, shoe color. Is it brown? Is it gray? Is it black? Is it shiny black? Is it matte black? Is it suede? And then comes the design, the pattern. That means, is it pointed? Is it blunt headed? Or is it round headed, round tipped, pointed tipped? Or is it like, it's nowadays I do see shoes which are almost like a bow, it comes like this and then becomes pointed, and then it becomes very, very narrow and with threads and all of the designs. Okay, multiple designs are possible. Now, you may ask me this question, do really people bother to look at the shoes? I'll tell you, if you are sitting somewhere, the first gaze of anybody else goes to your face, and then immediately after to the shoes, and then to the next part of the attires. People are judged by the shoes. There are some people who have a habit of not really maintaining the shoes and going with whatever condition the shoe is. I'll tell you, the shoes speaks about your cleanliness. If it is properly polished and shiny without any dirt and dust, then it gives a good impression about yourself that you are very meticulous about entirety. So if you are standing somewhere, somebody looks at you, it is said that looking at somebody from top to bottom. What is that bottom? Top is, I understand, from here to starts, okay? Bottom, what is that bottom? Bottom is up to the shoes. When somebody looks at you up to that, and then I'll tell you, every part of the attire is so nice and suddenly the shoe is dirty. Makes a hell of a lot of difference. So take note of it. Okay, so then design and heel height. See, for design I really don't have much comment. The reason is multiple designs are available and I am not really exposed to all designs. But you judge yourself whether this particular design is going to catch additional attention. And additional attention means distraction from actual purpose. That you have to keep in mind. If you are attracting somebody during interview, somebody is attracted to other parts of your attire, instead of focusing on to yourself and asking you questions and getting your answers, then it is negative. It should be such that nothing in your dress should really catch extra attention. Be careful about it. Then heel height. Heel height is one thing which is, it's a matter of personal choice. Different people wear different heights. For women, it is okay. Means they have to have some heights, and they do have heights, and their shoes are designed accordingly, and it gives them good, good personality and good look. But for male, it's very important. For men's, should you have a very high heel? If you have very high heel, and now I can tell you that if a person, a man is wearing a high heel shoe, then immediate reaction of others looking at him is that this person is unnecessarily trying to elevate his height, and that becomes negative. The immediate reaction of the person who is looking at the high heel person is that he has lesser confidence with respect to whatever height he has, so he is trying to gain some additional confidence by raising his height. So heel height, let it be normal height. It should not be suddenly that, okay, you are raised up by another 1 inch extra. Okay. The heel, the type, the pointed items in the front, whether it's blunt, the texture of the shoes. I talked about few of them, and then the polish, how much polished it is, how well kept it is, and the strings, shoe strings. See, you may wonder, do they really matter? Once I give the entire list of this attire, you will find that they do really matter. If they wouldn't had, then you wouldn't have gone to the fabric shop and made a choice of different kind of fabrics or different kind of shirts or trousers, because you are doing it to enjoy your dresses and impress others. You think that you buy a good shirt so that when you wear, you enjoy when people appreciate. That means if people are looking at you and appreciating, then that is the purpose for which you are buying. So it makes a sense. If it is for gaining appreciation, at the same time I would say that select in such a manner that you don't gain extra attention which is counterproductive for interview, whether it's interview, negotiations or anything. But I'll tell you, well kept attire gives the first impression of a person that, okay, the person is very well kept altogether. Then through discussion one can identify or find out that you are a genius or you are a, not genius. Let's take it that way. I remember one situation, a person who was slightly short height, okay, no problem, but he used to feel a little bit of inferiority complex compared to the other colleagues. The person, he was at the helm of affairs of that organization. So he thought that raising height gives extra confidence or extra personality. So he added the heel. He bought a shoe which is with a high heel. Not only that, he had other beliefs. The belief was his belt, if it is very gaudy and wide, it also gives him a good personality feeling. So he used to wear a very wide belt. And then, not only that, at the bottom of the hill, he used to put one small metal studs so that whenever he is walking along as a boss, it used to make cut, 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 cut sound. This we used to hear during our childhood days. Okay, the big bosses are walking with sound, cut, 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 cut. This person followed the same rule. He thought that by virtue of raising himself by heel height, and giving a wider belt sizes, and that too making noise with the heels, it gives him extra personality. But I'll tell you, the actual result was just opposite. Everybody used to, whenever he used to walk in the corridor, people used to say, good morning, good afternoon, sir, whatever. But behind him, everybody used to laugh. But look what he's trying to overdo something. Now, these are very, very critical. If you are going for an interview, then the shoe that you are wearing, see to it that it does not make too much of noise. For women's shoes, which has the heels, that may make a little bit of sound because that is made in such manner. But for your shoes, try to see that it does not make much of a noise, because that noise is very irritating noise. Okay? If you irritate somebody right in the beginning, the moment you enter, that irritation persists. Then comes another one, comes along with the shoes, socks. Never go for an interview wearing a shoes without a socks, because I have seen people doing it. I have seen. That's why I'm suggesting don't. There may be reason. There may be some kind of fungus grown in the feet. So a person who has come without the socks did not feel comfortable to do it, use it. Whatever it is, have a socks which goes well with the shoes. So what are the important things in the socks? The color, the prints matching with the shoes, and one more thing which I have mentioned over here. You can read it yourself. I really feel very, amused to say this, smell. I have experienced people coming for interview wearing a socks which is not washed properly, and the moment the person enters and there is a kind of bad smell spread all around the room, everybody noticed. Everybody. The moment person has left, the smell vanished. If this thing ever happens, I'll tell you, however best the candidate is, the result is zero. Okay? So the color of the socks matching with the shoes and the trouser. So if it is a black trouser, black color socks is better. If it is brown trouser, then brown color socks is better. If it is gray trouser, then gray color socks is better. If it is a beige color, then beige socks, And so the color, usually try to match the color of the socks with not the shoes especially, but with the trouser. Because shoes don't have so many variety of colors as we do have in trousers. In trousers we have so many varieties, so many prints, so many checks or whatever, but in shoes we have very limited colors. Okay? So don't forcefully match your socks with the shoes, try to match it with your trouser. Okay. Then comes handkerchief. The color of the handkerchief, the folds, how it is folded, and then whether it is ironed or crumpled. If it is ironed, it's better. If it is crumpled, it looks bad. It may happen that you take out your handkerchief. And then another thing is the fragrance. A bit of fragrance, bit of perfume added to your handkerchief is always an advantage. Because, see, you have come for the interview, you have walked or traveled a long distance, and naturally you have been wiping your sweats. And if it is sweats, also you have been wiping, the faces and everything. A bit of, sweat smell can always come with your handkerchief. So a nice fragrance, that means a perfume used for your handkerchief is good. But again, if I am saying good, I am also saying be very cautious, be very careful. Don't use perfumes which are very strong and disturbing. I remember one such case. A person he entered the room. The moment he entered, just like as I cited for socks, similar thing happened for perfumes. Suddenly the whole room was filled with, strong smell of deodorant. And it was really disturbing. It was disturbing. Nobody was really wanting that kind of smell there. So till the time the candidate was there, the deodorant was smelling in the entire room. And once the candidate has left, people said, okay, open the windows, let the fresh air come in. you know, what is this? These are different kind of reactions of the other side people. You may do whatever you want, but if you are going for such kind of interactions, these are the things which you have to keep in mind. Okay, this is what I say is grooming. You can do whatever you wish, but the thing is, if you are going for a purpose, then the purpose adaptive situation should be there. Then comes tie. Tie is very simple. There are different kind of ties, different kind of colors are possible. Okay, the color, pattern, width of the tie. If you look at this particular tie, it is, look at my body, it's a wider tie. You can also have a little thinner tie, you know, thin here. So the width, the matching with the blazer, matching with the shirt, this you have to take note of. Then the tie clip. If you require a tie clip, use it. If you don't require a tie clip, avoid it. But what happens is, usually if you have a tie clip, then it remains in place, otherwise it moves, you know. Quite often you might find you turn and the tie remained in the original position or shifts, you know. That's not very comfortable. So a clip is always better. Some people use tie pins. Okay, tie pins, when people use, they generally they don't like to pierce the tie. That's why they avoid. Nowadays, that's why nobody is using tie pins. Okay, and then the knot, the proper knot. There are different kind of knots. Okay, now this you have to take note of. Winter wears, there are so many varieties possible, but what matters in the winter wears is color, the design, the volume of the winter wear, the match, the fall, and the irons. Okay, I have seen, see, this kind of blazer sometimes becomes a symbol of formality. When I'll talk to you regarding interview, you'll find that I'll take this out, because during interview I want to be like you, not as a person who is taking interview. So I'll take this out. Means I'm changing my formal informal positions, you know. So when you are using winter wear, I would suggest that don't go with such kind of jackets which are very, you know, decorative or funky. Don't go. You go with a very soft dresses. You can wear, there's no necessity that you have to wear a blazer or a coat like this. You have to wear, you can always wear a pullover, but that also should be such, the pullover should not look like as if you have forcefully put on that particular pullover. So it is what you are going to wear. I am only pointing out these, that take note of it. Again, I'll repeat, have 2-3 options ready, try it in front of the mirror, and then ask your friends or relatives who are nearby that to give their opinion and listen to them. If somebody is giving you good advice, listen to them first. Try to adopt it and see for yourself. But finally, you should be comfortable wearing it. Okay? The accessories like watch, wristwatch. People have different kind of, you know, choices for wristwatches. Somebody wears a big watch, somebody wears a small watch. The women folks have a different kind of patterned watches. Somebody even looks for watches with a very nice bracelet, and somebody wears a bracelet alone. Yes, so these things matter a lot. The bangles, very heavy bangles or gaudy bangles, and, you know, almost like extravagant bangles are sometimes counterproductive. But there should be something which balances your entire attire. And then necklace, the kind of necklace. If you go for an interview with a junk jewelry on, you know, its first impression of the person is looking at you is that you are overdoing it. It's not required, because he came for a purpose. The purpose is the interview, and in the interview you are supposed to be showing your other talents and acumen, not your dresses. But at the same time, your entire attire should be very balanced, sober. If I say in one word, your attire altogether should be very sober, formal, suiting to the occasion that you are going for. If you take that seriously and try to work out, because there are so many options possible. And then comes finally the makeup. In the makeup, normal, different kind of makeups possible. Normal, soft, overdue or overdone, painted, and the perfumes. Okay? In the whole set, try to be soft and normal looking. Don't overdo in your makeup. For men, I would tell you, your makeup should be such that it does not reflect your other sweats and other things. You know, Basically, I advised already earlier that going for interview, if you have really traveled a long distance, now you are waiting there, you try to find out a washroom nearby and take out your small powder box and take out this, wipe the sweats and make your face dry. Don't overdo, but make your face dry. It should not be sweaty looking and moist when you are entering. That I said already. Okay, and that is not makeup. That's mainly, you are trying to put yourself in a proper facial positions. But what I am referring to is essentially for the ladies, the women. When you do makeup, it should be very, very formal and sober. You don't have to really go for the kind of makeups which makes you very attractive, not necessary, because your objective is to impress them with your knowledge, with your skills, with your acumen, not with your get-up. And in future, if you are appointed, you will still find that there is a certain, up to certain level, a makeup will be necessary. Beyond that, it will be overdoing. So if you are already working somewhere, you must be watching others. How do they make up their faces? Okay, not only this, if it is faces, also the palms, also the fingers. So in the whole makeup set, basically everything, like say how you maintain your nails, how you maintain your fingers, how you maintain your palm, how you maintain your top part of the hand, everything matters. So friends, essentially this part of grooming is so important, so important. Pay attention to it. Prepare yourself for the interview, but pay attention to this attire. Then after this, I will go to the other aspects of the grooming. Thank you.